You are listening to Sustainable from AgriBusiness Global, covering the crop protection, biologicals, and plant health markets advancements toward a healthier planet. Hello, and welcome to the Sustainable Podcast by AgriBusiness Global. My name is Sarah Webb, and I'm editor at AgriBusiness Global and host of today's episode. In this segment, I speak with Terry Kippley, President and CEO of the Council of Producers and Distributors of Agrotechnology, CPDA, who discusses the organization's sustainability efforts, CPDA's ongoing collaboration with the U.S. EPA, how adjuvants can help with biologicals adoption, and more. Thanks for tuning in. Terry, thank you so much for joining me today. First off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, Sarah, again, thank you for the opportunity. I feel honored to be on your program. A little bit about myself. So I am fifth generation farmer, and I grew up on a dairy farm outside of Madison, Wisconsin. And when I got off the farm, I got my education at University of Wisconsin. My first job was with Monsanto Chemical Company. So I was trained as a sales agronomist, worked there, and then I joined an inert manufacturing company called Oil Dry. And at that time, basically they were the leader in providing the granules that were impregnated with different crop protection products. And then from there, I went to work for the first U.S. generic crop protection company, Aceto. And so my whole career is spent in kind of this vertical of crop protection. And it's really prepared me so well to be here at CPDA, where, again, we're the Council of Producers and Distributors of Agrotechnology.
Okay, and building on that, can you tell us a little bit more about CPDA and its growth over the last couple of years?
Oh, absolutely. So I'd like to say CPDA, I've been here almost 4 years, and it almost feels like a 40-year-old startup. What I mean by that is that the organization started nearly 40 years ago with a number of post-patent manufacturers that were gathered together to try to get a level playing field, a seat at the table, if you will, in Washington.
Mhm.
From there, the organization expanded to really the full end-to-end crop protection supply chain. And what I mean by that is about a third of our members are the global inert manufacturers, the U.S. adjuvant manufacturers, helping to improve the ability to get those active ingredients out to the grower into the field.
Okay, and historically, it seemed like CPDA was focused solely on adjuvants and inerts for chemical crop protection, but in the last several years, it seems like it's starting to move toward more sustainable initiatives. The first I'd like to talk about is the Biopesticides Working Group. Can you tell me how that got started and what the goals of that working group will be?
Well, certainly. During our board meeting this past March, as part of our CPDA fly-in, a number of our board members talked about this emerging need of biologicals, and in particular biopesticide, and thought that CPDA would be well suited as a place to help biopesticide formulations that are, in a sense, looking to hitch a ride, so to speak, in that spray tank to get out into the field. And with kind of our end-to-end crop protection supply chain members, these inert manufacturers, adjuvant manufacturers are working to help deliver those biopesticide formulations. So it seemed like a natural place for us to create a platform to provide more focus and attention on those challenges.
Okay, and just adding to that a little bit more, from other discussions that you've had with industry experts, where do you think the US market is going with the adoption of biologicals, and how do you think innards and adjuvants will play a role in the success of that adoption?
Well, we have a new member Stradivation, and we were really pleased to help sponsor their study. This is the third year where they interviewed the perceptions and use of biopesticides in the Midwest. So about 600 corn and soybean folks. And what they found was relatively overall high awareness of biologicals. But that was interesting. Biopesticides grew by 9 points from 13% use to 22%. Well, that's like a 70% increase in biopesticides over a 2 year period. So I think that's really interesting for us to look at that. And then the second thing was again the awareness and the perception. Those who discontinued the use of overall biological products were focused on expectations and performance. So I think that's something that we want to continue to work on is can we come up with some technical solutions, and then how do we go about educate the growers going forward?
Absolutely. And then the other initiative I wanted to touch on is CPDA's work with the US Environmental Protection Agency and using adjuvants as drift control for Endangered Species Act requirements. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of the work on that initiative and where it stands today?
Certainly. So CPDA, we've kind of adopted a theme. We like to perceive or frame that we're the business council for agrotechnology, and we're all about protecting the acre and growing the opportunity. And where this came from was really our work starting about 4 years ago. I give credit to Mano Basu at CropLife America every chance I can get because he reached out 4 years ago and they said, "Hey, Kippley, we're just now getting a look at the public comments from EPA about the pesticide or the ESA strategies, and there's no mention of adjuvants." And so we worked on that with our members, and we're so grateful that the EPA was willing to sit down with us and work together to give growers credit for things that they already are doing to help create mitigation options to comply with the ESA. You can use a drift reduction adjuvant in lieu of a no spray buffer. So we think that's important work. Our members came together, came up with the data, worked with EPA. We're continuing our ongoing efforts to do that. But at the end of the day, I think this is a great example of collaboration with the EPA. It's going to help the grower, helps the environment, it helps the crop protection companies keep their tools on the market. And it's a big win for all involved.
Absolutely. And overall, where do you see the US agriculture heading and how will adjuvants and innards be part of those changes?
Well, I think as we go forward, there's going to be continued pressure and an opportunity to improve the accuracy of our spray solutions. And so, biopesticides hitching a ride in the tank with traditional chemistry to get out into the field, it's going to make the use of adjuvants and inerts, which at the end of the day help improve the characteristics of that spray solution to stay on target. That will become even more important. So, really, a great opportunity as we continue to improve these formulations and the efficacy of these products.
Okay. And does CPDA have any other sustainability initiatives that it's working toward in the future?
Well, I think you're just going to see us doing more work because at the end of the day, it's got to be profitable to the grower. It's not going to be sustainable. So we think as we work together with biopesticides and educating the grower, one of the things that's I think you're going to be hearing more about is that how can we work together to create, it's called, say, a biopesticide certification program. So growers know that if you see, let's say, a CPDA seal of approval on that, that there's been a standard of performance that's being met. They give them confidence that this product is going to work the way it's supposed to and deliver the results that the farmer's expecting. So I think from a sustainability standpoint, helping growers understand these products will work. If you have that seal of approval, I think that's something that CPDA will be putting more effort on in the future.
Thank you so much, Terry, for joining me today. We really appreciate your insights.
Really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to Sustainable from Agribusiness Global. You can find more podcasts, videos, news, e newsletters, event, and webinar information at agribusinessglobal.com.